Hey, welcome to Beer Christianity. My name's Jonty. I'm on my own for this episode because me and Malky and Laura have just struggled to try and find a time to meet together, partly because of Christmas and all the end-of-year rigmarole, partly because, people have jobs and kids and all that sort of stuff, partly because Malky's had COVID and Laura's 24 and I'm struggling to, sleep or get a doctor to take seriously this feeling like I'm dying every time I sleep, which might be anxiety. I don't know. Either way, pray for me, please, because good Lord. But the fact is, it's just been a whole bunch of other stuff that has taken precedence. Including the fact that my novel came out. So I've been doing a lot of work for that. And you can look for Incredulous Mshweshwe and the Lightning Bird on Amazon, and you can buy it right now. But this is actually not an episode to plug that. I'm sure I'll do one about that at some point. This is an episode that came, I think, out of the general anxiety of the world at the moment, where all our coping mechanisms, well, for me anyway, all of my coping mechanisms to deal with, you have a bit of stress in your life because of life admin or because of sickness or whatever. And the things that you would usually do to kind of self-medicate, to self-soothe, are just so much more stressful and in themselves anxiety-inducing that I know a lot of people are talking about it, but I hadn't fully taken into account the impact that is having on me, I'm scared to go to the gym because I don't really want to catch COVID, but without regular exercise, one's mental health takes a bit of a hit. I'm used to, self-soothing with hanging out with people and, seeing friends and doing social stuff. But it all just seems like it's not that you're scared to go out. It's that you always ask that question, is it worth it? So anyway, I hope you're doing okay with that. And if it is affecting your mental health, I am sorry. And you can drop us a line and we'll pray for you if you like, because that would be cool for us to do. So do let us know if there's something we can pray for you for, that or something else, and do pray for us. The thing I wanted to talk about in this short episode was the police and who they work for. And I want to not even get into the brutality and the violence of the police, because I believe that can potentially be rooted out and reformed by defunding and starting from the ground up, restructuring what the purpose is, all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to talk about just when the police are actually doing their job, why is their job only to protect the wealthy and the powerful, or if not only, at least primarily. And I'll give you an example. Your boss is contracted to pay you on the 25th for the work that you've done this month, or at the end of the week for the work that you've done this week. And that's the contract, that's the agreement. It's legal. If they fail to do so, can you call the cops? And will they show up and say, give this person their money? No. If you need that money to pay rent, to pay, your debts, whatever, or just, to live, or just because you want it, if you take the money out of the cash register, out of petty cash, and say, it's cool, I'm going to take this now, your boss can and will call the cops. Why is that? Why is it that the police will protect them, but not you? Them with all the power, and not you with no power. Logically, they're supposed to be there to protect the weak. Like whenever people say, we don't need police at all, I always go, yeah, but what about the weak? Because a society with no police means that bullies and violent people run roughshod over the rest of us. But in this case, it wouldn't be that way. If you were to throw a brick through a window of a house that didn't belong to you, the police would be called, and they would probably take you away, or at least talk to you. If, however, the window breaks because of some, accident, and your landlord, whose job it is to fix that, doesn't for 3 weeks, will the police be called on him? Will, or her, equal opportunity scumbaggery, will you be able to call the police? Will they respond and go, yes, you know what, we're going to lock your landlord up because he hasn't fixed the heating in 3 months, because there is mold on your ceiling, and they won't. You go, oh, that's not a really serious crime. Is it a really serious crime to break a window? I'm not sure it is. Think of it this way. Sainsbury's. You go in, you steal a flip-flop. You shoplift, and you shoplift one flip-flop because, it's not about need, it's about the absurdity of the situation. If you get caught, the police will be called. However, if Sainsbury's, when you order online, sends you something that is not up to scratch, so they send you, this actually happened to me. They send you a bag of onions, and one or two of the onions are rotten. Do you get to call the cops? Like, if it was something they sell you a pint of milk. Now, maybe it's because there's a good faith question in there, though I would argue that the number of times you find just one rotten piece of fruit or veg in a pack of many suggests to me an element of agency and decision on behalf of, and I'm not in any way saying that Sainsbury's does this naturally, because again, the law is there to protect them and not me, that it makes financial sense not to throw away that fruit and veg, but to put just one in every packet of 20 because people are unlikely to want to throw it away. When manufacturers create products that are designed to fail, planned obsolescence, they're designed to break down. Do we get to call the cops? Absolutely not. If we don't pay the full price, however, that's a problem. When you pay for service for, the internet, say, or mobile, and it doesn't work, do you get to not pay? No, of course you don't. There are structures, there are but my point being, the law seems to be there primarily to protect the powerful and the strong and the wealthy. Now you can say, but some of those are criminal things and some of those are civil things, because economic crime is not the same as crime. I ask, why? Why should that be? Why is it that somebody who takes a bag of fruit from Tesco needs the police to come and handcuff them, but somebody who fails to pay their staff does not get the handcuffs? I'm not even talking about the larger fraud things, because I know people get arrested, although it has to be said, they get sent to different types of jails. They get sent to less intense jails than the people who burgle. Why is that? The white-collar crime versus blue-collar crime, and it's in the name. It's because you're from a different class, and you need to be more invested in being law-abiding because you're meant to be controlled. Think about violence. If you punch somebody in the face, you are going to get the cops show up. If your airbag deploys for no reason and punches you in the face, nobody gets arrested. Even if you fight a civil case and you win damages, nobody gets arrested. Nobody goes to jail for that. Now, there's questions of intent, there's questions of good faith, bad faith, but the effect is the same. And those things may be true, but isn't it interesting how much of a correlation there is between wealthy, powerful institutions, bodies, and people not being prosecuted and not having the cops show up at their door, and these good faith, bad faith arguments? It's just a hell of a coinkydink. What about murder? I kill someone, or I hire some people to kill someone, or I rile people up with hate speech so that a group of people go out and attack another group of people. I will be prosecuted, cops will show up. If someone like Tony Blair or George W. Bush, we spit upon them, rile people up or make the decision to send a group of people to kill a whole bunch of people, and it leads to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of deaths, they are not prosecuted. No cop shows up. If you were to go to a gas station if you're in America, and you filled up your car, and then you got to the cashier and you're like, I don't have any money, I can't pay. I'm really sorry. If they're nice, there will be some kind of mechanism where you can come back later. If they're not nice, they will call the cops. If you pay for a product that turns out to be faulty, essentially you're not getting what you paid for. Do you get to call the cops? No. The fact that we think, well, obviously not, suggests that we have been brainwashed into the thinking of this world, which says that some people are more valuable than others. How about pollution? If you go and dump some trash in a stream and somebody sees you, a cop will rightly slap you in the face. No, they won't slap you in the face. How ridiculous. That has never, ever happened. But cops, they will be called, right? I mean, if it's on a general public land thing, probably not. But if you did that on a stream in a corporate park, the cops would be called forthwith, okay? Companies are allowed to dump a certain amount of effluent into rivers. For instance, water companies, who have been known in the last few years in Britain to be excessively dumping sewage into the rivers in which we swim. And if it has been deemed to be illegal, the worst thing that happens is a fine. The person who made the decision never gets arrested. The cops never drag them away. They don't get a criminal record which prevents them from getting employment in the future, but somebody who fly tips, who is poor, or who fly tips on the land of somebody who is rich, that's a problem. Trespassing. You walk on some farmer's land where there's not a public right of way, they can call the cops on you. However, a landowner who doesn't maintain the public right of way, which is their duty and responsibility, can you call the cops on them? This style has not been maintained, and I can't climb over this fence. It prevents me from using this land. You've blocked it off. Can I call the cops? No, they will laugh at me. Again, why do we think this is normal? Why do we think this is okay? I'm probably missing a bunch of really great examples here, and maybe I've not thought this through entirely. I would love for you to get in touch and tell me what the better examples are, or what other examples are about where the law is for the rich and not for the poor. Because I think that this is, and particularly this weird distinction between criminal and non-criminal offenses, and why some of them are and some of them aren't, and this correlation with corporations or government power sometimes. I sound like an anarchist, but, yeah, I want to hear more of your thoughts on this. And I think this is so anathema to the kingdom of God, which is the kingdom in reverse, which is do not show favoritism at your table because based on wealth, which says that blessed are the poor and blessed are the meek. I don't know. I have problems. And I think my lifelong thought that this is natural and normal is just a case of being conformed to the thinking of this world, and I need to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. Anyway, that's it. That's my thoughts. Thank you for listening to Beer Christianity. We have loads of other episodes, including long ones with me and Laura and Malky, where we talk about various things. We have plans to record, but they keep on getting scuppered, so who knows when you'll hear another one of those pretty soon, I guess. Do check out the rest of them at beerchristianity.libsyn.com. If you have responses to this or other episodes, please write to beerchristianity@yahoo.com. And you can find us on Twitter, BeerXianity. Is it BeerXianity on Twitter? Beer Christianity? I don't know. Just Google it, man. It's fine. All the stuff is available at beerchristianity.libsyn.com. And thank you so much for listening.